In this lesson, I will be describing how to use Dreamweaver to create web pages. But first, what I need you to do is to create three direct folders underneath your web page folder. The three folders are to be named Fonts, Images, and Scripts. These three must be created before we open Dreamweaver. When you open Dreamweaver, you will see the following page. It's got Open Items, Create a New, and Top Features. What I want you to do is to go to Open, navigate to your web page. You can see mine is already at my web page, and click on index.html and click Open. Now, what you will see here is I have got this as split up here. If you click on Code, you'll only see the code. If you click on Design, you'll only see the web page itself, and Live gives you a live view of that code. I would like you to have yours sit on Split, and that way you can see the changes as you make them. Now, I have made a number of changes above what you have. So, starting at the top here, we can see we've still got the same first three lines, but here I've put a description field. That was done by going up to Insert, going down to where is it? Up to Head, sorry, and going to Description. So if you click on Description in yours, you can now enter a description of your web page, and when you click OK, it will store that as the meta name up here. If it stores it in any other place, you may need to move it from that place to up here. It should be under Title. If you goes to another place, it means your cursor was not at that position, but was somewhere else. Now, we'll ignore the @Fontface command for the moment, and let's go down to the Divi Top Banner. Now you'll see I've given mine a height of 80 pixels and a width of 800. If we change that to say 70 pixels, and then click down the bottom and go Refresh, you'll see the box has changed already there. Let me put it back up to 100. Click Refresh, and the changes are immediately seen. Go back to 80 and click Refresh. Now, and you can do the same for any of these down here. The font size, you can do the same trick. We can go to 70 pixel, refresh, and it goes up. Take it back to 60 pixels, click Refresh. We can easily change the color number here. Maybe I might want some red in with the blue. I might say pick a value of say 3A. Click Refresh. You notice it didn't change very much because there was not much red in there. So let me pick AA. Refresh, and you see now that the box has changed to a purpley color. Okay, I'll just change that back. I think that's a bit too much red, so let me just put it maybe at 8A and click Refresh. And yeah, that tones down the purple a bit. Okay. Now, the padding here is adding some extra size around the edge of the box. That's so that things which go into the box don't coincide with the edge. So if I take that padding of 0 out and refresh, you will now see that the box that had the picture in it now has no border around it, and the box, the rest of the banner is significantly smaller. Let me put that back in, and maybe I might make that 20, and let's see what that happens there. Okay, so that's significantly larger. Click that back to 10 pixels. There, refresh, and that's back the way it was. Okay, and every time you probably should save it every so often. Okay, so let's scroll down a bit, down here. Now say I wanted to put another command in here to do something else with this. Now you'll notice that as soon as you go to another line, it gives you a whole list of codes that we could possibly put in to this. Okay, so a whole pile, all these different codes can be added to a division for different reasons. So let's say, let's give it an outline color, and let's pick a color, and see there's a color thing there. Let's pick a color, and we might say pick that color there. Click semicolon, and see what it does. And I can't see there was much change. Let's change that to a 0, 0, 0, 0 FF. And let's click refresh. And it doesn't seem to have done anything, but that's okay. That sometimes happens with some of these things, that you don't see much change. But that's just an example of what you can do with HTML coding. Now, this image img.left, this is to enable me to left justify the picture that's up here in the banner. Okay, because we have got text align center, without the float left, this box joins up with the text. But if I want that on that side, I need to put a float left command in. Now, I might also need to have a right justify command. So I might go image.right, and then open brace, and the command is float colon, and you'll see the option come up here, right semicolon, and close that. So now down here, this is where I've told to put the image in. You'll see that image source refers back to the images folder that I created before, and an image name called Dell Computers. So let me look at putting another image in my web page. Okay, so having downloaded another photo to put in my banner, I'll now type in image. Now you'll see that up the top here. Now I need to go tell it where the source is. So let's go scroll down to see source, and then it says browse. Now go to my images directory, and let's pull up this old Tandy computer. Click OK, and let's see what happens if I do that. Refresh. Now you see that because that image is much larger than the web page here, it doesn't fit on my banner, so therefore it comes down and sits there, but that's not what I want. So I need to specify how big that is. So height equals, and then if we go at the moment, see it's got set 291 there. If we change that to 80, that will make it the same size as the other picture. So let's go refresh and see what happens. Yes, and that moves up to there. Now I don't really want it beside my web page there. What I would like is for it to be over there. So therefore I come back into here, and go class equals. Now you see how it automatically comes up and says I can use any of those three. So I want to make class right. Okay, and let's see what it does. Let's refresh that. Now if I just move this over, you'll see that the height's all in one line. And you'll notice that the picture has now moved across the edge of the banner. So now let's have a look at this font family, this whole area here from Fontface. This Fontface command allows you to add extra fonts to your web page. Normally there is a very limited range of fonts that you can actually put in. If we go to the font family, you will see the range, the restricted range that it gives you. So these are all the system ones. So there isn't that many fonts that can be used by default on a web page. Okay, so the way we get around that problem, and then let me just take this back out again, is we can download some fonts and add them to our web page. So I have downloaded a font called Titilium. So let me show you how to download a font. Okay, so I've just done a Google search for free web fonts. Now you must make sure that any fonts that you use are free. There are many fonts on the internet which are not free for you to use on a web page, but require you to pay a subscription or a license fee to use them. There are a number of very good sites that gives you free ones, Fontscrill being one of them. Adobe gives you some. Google Fonts, let's go into Google Fonts. Google Fonts has a big range of fonts. And Google Fonts allows you to pick up a whole pile of different fonts. Now let's have a look at this one. This looks like an interesting one. Hanalea Fill. And let's download that one. So we go add to collection, and then we might go, now down here you'll see choose, so use that font, and I want to download him. Okay, so clicking the download link. So I want to download it as a zip file. Okay, that has now downloaded. So let's click on the zip file, and you'll see it's just got a TTF file. So we just copy that to our web page directory into the fonts. This is why I had you create a fonts directory before. Let's paste him in there. Okay. Now you'll notice that in my fonts directory there are OTFs, WOFFs, EOTs, and TTFs. There are 4 different types of fonts that you can use, and they all have different extensions, different 3 letters after the dot in the name. Originally you could only use OTFs and WOFFs in web fonts, but now we can use TTFs as well, which are true type fonts, which are the standard fonts that are used now throughout computing. So we'll now use that Hanalea Fill regular TTF in our web page. So let's go back to Dreamweaver. Now by convention, all the extra fonts should be before your other divisions so that you can use them in other divisions. So let's add the commands to use this new font face. So at font-face, and let's open the brace and let's go font-family. Now we just call this, give it a name, say new font. I can't remember what it was called. Semicolon at the end. Now the source. Now see here it comes up with URL. We click on the URL. And now we navigate to our fonts directory, click on the font that we're after, which was that HLL fill. Okay. So we'll call it, we'll go back up here and now we'll name it AN. Now, down here, so we need to add a semicolon after it and put in our closed brace. Okay, so now we can substitute that font for the font we've just added. So let's make that HANAL. Refresh, and you'll see that my web page has now got that new font around it. So let's save that. Okay, so now I've got two different fonts that I can use above and beyond the standard fonts. So there are many different commands that we can use for formatting, and we've also seen how we can add images and fonts in this lesson.